You're listening to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast, the show that's dedicated to raising consciousness and empowering you to activate your highest potential. I'm your host, Magda Freedom Rod. Greetings, Rainbow Warriors. Welcome to the first episode of Season 5 and Year 2 of the show. If you didn't hear the previous episode talking about everything that's coming up, make sure to check that out. Today's guests are Felicia Hargarten and Marcus Meurer. Marcus is a kitesurfer, an entrepreneur, and a vegan athlete. Felicia, or Feli as she's called by those who know her, is an entrepreneur, author, and blogger. She runs Travelicia, one of the biggest websites for backpackers, globetrotters, and digital nomads in Germany with 100,000 plus readers. And together, they founded the DNX Movement and are digital nomads by heart and live and work from anywhere around the globe. They connect and support digital nomads worldwide through their DNX Digital Nomad Conference, as well as their DNX Coworking and Coliving camps. We met in Thailand, where I was lucky enough to interview these two bright lights and get their insight in this world of traveling full-time and working from anywhere. These two truly are living the dream and have created ways to help you do it too. Turns out they're also vegans and yogis, so you can imagine we had lots to talk about. I was lucky enough to attend the DNX conference in Lisbon last year, met tons of cool digital nomads, and interviewed a bunch of them for an entire season that's coming up in season 6 of the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Their next event is the DNX Global Festival in Lisbon on September 22nd and 23rd of this year, so mark your calendars for that. If you're looking into the freedom lifestyle, guys, this is the place to be, and hopefully I'll see you there. Make sure to check out the show notes on my website at visionary-lifestyle.com/podcast to get links to their website. I hope you enjoy our interview as much as I did. Namaste. Marcus and Feli, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
This is exciting. We're sitting bayside here in Thailand. What's the name of this little town we're in? Sirtani?
Sitanu, it's
Sitanu,
called. It's in
Sitanu.
the northwest.
In the northwest side of Koh Phangan. Did I get that pronunciation right? Yeah. I've been on this island for a few days. We're living the island life. We're living the digital nomad lifestyle, and what a blessing to be here looking at both of you radiant beings right now. Yay. So I just learned about you guys and the conference that you're sharing. Well, it's way more than a conference. It's a whole brand. So DNX, why don't you give us the lowdown on what DNX is?
Yeah, so it all started out with the conference you were just talking about. And the main idea was when we started into the digital nomad lifestyle, we figured out there are not many people who are sharing their experiences, and there's not really a community. So we reached out to the first people we could find on the internet, which were not many people, and started to build up more or less a little mastermind community thing, and pinging some ideas, because sometimes or very often you still need like some workarounds as a digital nomad, because the systems, they can't catch up quickly enough with what we are doing at the moment. And as we went very public on our Facebook profiles, trying to get the word out about this lifestyle and tell other people that there is an alternative way of living than in being in a cubicle from 9 to 5, it gained a lot of awareness, a lot of traction, especially in Germany where we are coming from. So the media got aware of us, but also a lot of people were asking questions, and we were answering day and night, emails, Facebook messages, WhatsApp messages, and we set up an FAQ, the first digital nomad Wikipedia, which is still live. And so as the demand grew bigger and bigger, and people wanted to get to know us and see if we are really there for real, we came up with this idea to gather all the people in Berlin, in the Beta House, which is the first co-working space in Berlin, and do a little meetup, which was planned for like 40 people, I think was the first room we were asking for. We had no money, and Beta House didn't got the idea in the beginning, but they said we are cool, and say, okay, we give you the trust, let's see what works. and at the end it was sold out within 3 days, and we needed more space. And the first conference then took off with 200 people in Berlin in 2014. And this is the beginning of everything what was following then. And since then we started also to do Coworking, Coliving camps all over the world in places like Brazil or Greece, Thailand, Bali. Now at the moment there's a camp running in Tagazout, Morocco, where there's a very nice co-living space called Sundesk. We started the first job board for location independent jobs, so we are quite active, and I still feel it's just the beginning.
Yeah, you guys are really busy. I mean, you're super productive. You're also vegans and yogis, so that explains a lot from where I'm coming from. Helping to keep your body temples just fueled and strong, and
totally,
keeping yourselves grounded. And you meditate every day as well, right?
Yeah, not just meditating. I also have a very strict morning routine, which starts with the sunrise every day. I wake up on my own. I don't need any alarm anymore because my system is now adapted to wherever I've been. I wake up with the birds, and when the sun goes up, I do my bed as the very first quick win in the morning, and I fill a gratitude journal. I meditate. I eat healthy vegan breakfast with chia seeds and all this stuff, and this helps me totally to get into this productive mood, especially the day before. I look for my MIT, the most important task which I want to accomplish, and this is what I start with in the very early morning, like at 8 or 9 when I'm done with my morning routine, to knock out this goal. And this gives you a great feeling without going into social media or without checking my email, which is very important. And then you just won the day already at 10 in the morning, and that's great.
It sounds like that we are super structured, but of course we have times where we are more productive or less, but we learn to deal with it. So sometimes you feel you open your computer and you have no ideas or no drive, then you just better let go and go do some sports or do an excursion or go for diving, or we love to kite surf, especially when we are in Brazil. And there are other times we could work the whole day because we have so much drive and so much energy. So we learn to adapt to this also. We try to have a structure and have this morning routine, but there are times it goes better or it doesn't. Sometimes it also depends on where you are, or there are so many factors.
Sure. You're not militant about the morning routine.
Right.
But I appreciate that sort of at least attempt at discipline, and I like this practice of the MIT, the most important task. That where I struggle, and I assume there's a lot of other people in the same boat with me, is waking up and going straight to the phone and straight to the social media. It's like you got to just check first, and then it sucks you in, right?
Yeah, it's for many people it's a habit, and it's very addictive. It just works, and this is why at a certain point I just bought some Facebook stocks, because I was feeling for myself it's working. I was really angry about myself being in this rabbit hole again and forgetting what I wanted to do there, and say, okay, at least I will invest in some stocks, and then I
profit on it one way or another.
And I will profit from my procrastination. But it's highly addictive, and it's a big challenge for many people nowadays. But what really helps is to go through it without going into it and accomplish your MIT again, and then whenever you feel this benefits from not going into it, your mind slowly adapts, and then it can see the benefits better not going into it.
I like this, ideas for productivity.
I'm a productivity hacker. I love it too.
I find the best thing is if you know, okay, I have just 3 hours or 4 hours to do my to-dos, and then I go kite surfing, for example, then you don't get that easily distracted, and you just do your things because I want to have it ready by then. Yeah. If you have the whole day, it's the same like working in an office, I have to sit here 8 hours.
Right.
Then it takes 8 hours when you do the same thing. And especially when you worked 9 to 5 before, you're used to it. I have to sit there for the whole time. And then we did it in the first time, in the beginning of our self-employment. We started with freelancing. We had the feeling we had to sit there 8 hours. If we have to do something or not, it didn't matter. You know what I mean? So
and also it was very hard to give us the permission during the day just to go to the gym or just as Feli was saying, just to shut down the laptop and go on the water and do a kite surfing session. So you're like really educated from the system, depending on how long you have been working for startups. Conditioned, this is the right word.
Right. So the digital nomad lifestyle is a way to break free from all of that. It's really the lifestyle of freedom, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's the number one reason why people are doing it. There are more and more like surveys now, and people who are starting to do big studies on this new lifestyle, and they are always on our conferences and events and want to get to know, like to go deeper into the people's mind, what drives them, and freedom is the number one reason. And like regaining the ownership of your own life, of your time, of your job, and decide when you want to work, on what you want to work, with whom you want to work. And this is, for me, it's the ultimate freedom on all levels.
Right, which thank God for the advent of the internet, right? Because as we were just talking earlier off mic, that 5-10 years ago this wouldn't have been possible. You guys started 5 years ago, and
Different
even then it was, things have changed so much with the technology and the internet and the tools and the apps and everything, right, to make this lifestyle so much more doable. And wouldn't you say that at this point in time there's enough technology on our side that it's absolutely doable? I mean, you guys are living proof, and you're gathering hundreds of people at a time who are living the lifestyle as well, yeah?
So you want to answer?
No.
So it's absolutely doable, and now we are in the year 2017, and times have never been better than now. Like you were just saying, 5 years ago it was a completely different game. It's hard to imagine, but there were no tropical co-working spaces like Ubud on Bali, or Dojo Bali, or Co-Hub on Koh Lanta, or here it's called Beach Hub. So in all these nice tropical areas, now there are tropical co-working spaces with like really fast internet and convenient workspaces. So it's way more convenient now than 5 years ago. We had to go, there were no global Airbnbs you could go into and cook on your own, which is very important for us, and to have like a proper chair and a desk to work at, and fast internet. So this Airbnb also solved a lot of problems. But back in these times, we had to work in hostels, and people felt very sorry for us, and they didn't get it, and
felt sorry that you were working on your laptop during your
the
vacation.
holidays, and we had to explain that we will never fly back. We are just on one-way tickets.
Permanent holiday.
So it changed, and now in 2015, all the good tools, they are for free. So it's the best times ever to start into this lifestyle. Slack is for free, Trello is for free, Google Drive is for free, Dropbox is for free, Skype is for free.
Yeah, and now you have the new generation Y coming up that is used to buy things in the internet. So if you put your knowledge out there, like in an ebook, in an online course, in a coaching, whatever product you are doing, the new generation is more used to buy things in the internet. So this shifted, of course, as well. And so you can make better business, or easy access a lot of people in the whole world with your products. And you can build up an own reach as a person. It's not just the media anymore, or the gatekeepers, like that you can only publish a book by a publisher. You can do self-publishing via Amazon, and all these gatekeepers are gone now. So
it's hard times for them, and this is why the world is so shaky at the moment, because it's just
or the television and YouTube. You can just do your own television show on YouTube.
Right.
So
or right now we are recording for your podcast, which is really great, and this is why the system at the moment is very shaky, because the people who used to have the power and were the gatekeepers, they lose a lot of influence and a lot of power, and there are people who don't want to let go of this power, and this is why we are like in a very dark age at the moment of the world. We are in the golden age, but we are in a valley of a dark age, and we have to go through it. But we will do it.
But we have the option and to choose the light, which is what we're doing here. And with the show like this, and with the work that you guys are doing, I mean, trying to help people, enlighten people to what the opportunities are, right? Help expand your consciousness, expand your vision. Here's something that didn't exist 5 or maybe 10 years ago, but it totally exists now, and it's absolutely doable, and you can jump into this with both feet and totally change your life and live a more inspired life that is in alignment with your own personal values, and raise your happiness, right? Raise your happiness level.
And the interesting thing is also that it's not just the working things that are changing. It's also like, religion is not interesting anymore. Like it's more going to spirituality, or the school system. It's more going to world schooling, homeschooling, or what else? Yeah, the science.
Yeah, everything is shifting.
Yeah, everything's shifting. Or the banking system. There are so many new tools you can use, or you can use Bitcoins.
Yeah.
And it's not just the working world.
Yeah, and more things are changing in the world. Like people start to collaborate. It's all the collaborative consumption. What is very crowdfunding. This is what I just wanted to mention all the big corporations with these VC, venture capital. It's old school. People don't need it anymore. There are so many smart solopreneurs which outperform all these big corporates now because they are too slow. Like we are self-funded, we are bootstrapped and build up everything from scratch, just us two. And this is how it goes in nowadays. We are so quick, we are so agile, we are always one step ahead of these big corporations, and this is what is really interesting in these times now.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's go into, for the listeners who are not necessarily familiar with the digital nomad, what is a digital nomad? What is the lifestyle? What are the sort of businesses that people are running on the road for people? We're talking, I'm going to let you define it.
Digital nomads are people who work location independent, just with the internet. So wherever we got good Wi-Fi, which gets better and better, we always have a local SIM card as a fallback. So I also don't need Wi-Fi anymore because I always tether with my iPhone and make a Wi-Fi hotspot access point with the phone, which works really good. And then you can work literally from everywhere. So we are just sitting here at the ocean in a nice setup and a nice surrounding, and
sitting at an organic vegan healing center, yoga center, beachside. Like we can work right here. I've got my laptop, it's plugged in, they've got power for us. They know what's up. They're supporting the digital nomads. They know we're coming here to work, right?
Yeah, and what helps in the beginning, this is how we also started out. We didn't start like having this big business from day one. Being an entrepreneur, we started as freelancers, so we were changing our time against money, which is in the beginning it's okay just to get started and build our business at the same time by the side, more or less. And this was our travel blog, Felicia, which is now one of the biggest travel blogs in Germany, and which can easily fund us, just the travel blog anymore. So everything we are doing now is on top, which gives us also a lot of headspace.
Well done.
Yes, it was the same thing I wanted to say. You have to divide between freelancers and entrepreneurs. So freelancers are still exchanging time against money and work for someone else, but they can do it from Thailand if possible. Okay,
and what's the difference then between a freelancer and an entrepreneur?
And the entrepreneur has scalable products. So like an online course, you once produce it and then you do advertisement and you can scale the sales. Infinitely. So it can be that you earn money while you are on the sea kite surfing.
Or kite surfing.
But it doesn't mean that you have nothing to do at all anymore.
Right, okay, so a freelancer, there's 24 hours in the day and you make so much per hour, so that has a finite amount to it, whereas the entrepreneur has a business that is scalable. So we're generally we're talking about online products, right?
Yeah, generally we're talking about online products, which can be ebooks, online courses, coaching, online shops, e-commerce. And I wanted to mention there's also a third row or a third column, which is growing more and more. Also, I think with the help of us, because we are consulting lots of corporations and lots of companies who want to understand what the generation Y and Z is after, and they have really hard times at the war for talents to get the talented people anymore, because you can't attract them anymore with salary, with a big long job title, with a car. They don't want to have all this. They want to have freedom. They want to work from wherever they want, and they don't want to work on the same job for the rest of their life. So time really changes, and there are some first movers from big companies who are really 100% remote, like Automatic or Buffer or Zapier. They have remote allocated teams all over the world, and they allocate their teams not anymore just like this is a marketing team. They allocate it in this is team Central America, and then they have Skype calls in their own time zones because they are scattered all over the world. And this is changing, and there are more and more companies who give like trust to their employees and let them work from everywhere and pay for their co-working spaces. This is also like a good development for people to get started as an employee.
Okay. And what are so co-working spaces? I haven't personally dropped into too many of them. I'm attracted to them and I'm drawn to them, but I just haven't had the time really to go and sit. So what's the advantage of working in a co-working space versus, me sitting here in this beautiful view with my own laptop doing my own work? What's happening in the co-working spaces? What am I missing that's going on there?
So there you can be totally sure that the internet is good, especially when you do Skype calls or Skype with clients. If you are a freelancer, it's very important.
Or big data uploads for videos.
Yeah, or videos or something. And then you can be sure that you have a good environment, like a table and a good chair. If you sit there all day,
All right. So when I was pulling my hair out in India trying to upload this podcast to get the show off the ground, a co-working space would have solved that problem.
And then usually you have a good community. You have some community meetings, or you can ask someone for help, or what do you think of this design? You're not alone. This can be very hard.
Networking kind of community.
There are awesome communities, especially here in Southeast Asia, in Ubud on Bali. It's in Ubud, and the co-working space called Ubud. They have one of the best communities I've ever seen. Or also Michael from Dojo Bali in Canggu is doing a great job, or the Co-Hub I was mentioning before. And then they do like community events in the evening. They do mastermind sessions. They do workshops just out of their group, and they're all for free and accessible for the for people who work in the co-working space. And this raises the knowledge of everyone who's working in this co-working space. And this is why Digital Nomads are like, they have the power. They have the opportunity to really change the world, combine the big picture of traveling the world, meeting other cultures to get the idea, combined with the entrepreneurial skills, because they are also very collaborative and sharing and supporting each other. They can do big things in the world, and this is really cool.
So speaking of entrepreneurial skills, is that something that comes up at your conferences and in your camps? Can we talk a bit about what your offering is and what's going on at these conferences and camps that can be of benefit to people who are listening right now going, I so want to quit my job and be a digital nomad right now. Where do I start? What do I do?
It's crazy what's happening. Just a small example. Yesterday we opened the sale or the registration for the pre-events for our German conference, which is annually in May. We also have an international English conference, which is this year in September in Lisbon, with speakers like Pat Flynn from the States, who's well known. So it's like a really huge event and happening. And in Germany we just opened the registration and people went crazy. We had like 200 spaces, and we are like 700 people will join probably this year for the conference in Germany. But we never expected that like 500 people already show up on Wednesday and book their accommodations. So it was sold out again, everything within, 1 or 2 hours yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
And people were complaining they didn't get their spots for the pre-events, and we never expected this demand. And it's
incredible. So what is it? What are people demanding? What is it that you're offering that they're chomping at the bit to get?
Yeah, I think the biggest asset is the community, the networking, the get together with the people who are already living this lifestyle, because it's very important to surround yourself with the people where you want to go. They are your mentors, and you're always the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
I've heard this,
we have all the people who are traveling the world, which are more and more people whenever we go into hotspots like Bali or Berlin or Tarifa or Chiang Mai. People already know us because we're doing the events, but we see a lot of people who just showed up on our event for the first time say, I want to go there, I want to live this lifestyle. And then 1 year later you meet them in the hotspots, and they're so thankful and they're so grateful for
and they're doing it.
They're doing it. So we see the proven concept that it's for real and people can really start. And what they get on the events is on the one hand, lots of inspiration and motivation from the people who are already living this lifestyle, especially on our main event, where we gather like some 100 people on the main stage, which is a big thing. And then we go also into deep dive knowledge, into actionable know-how on our workshops, which is also like we have now I think 20 workshops on Sunday, which are running in 5 different slots in different rooms. So it's
20 workshops on one day.
On one day about how to start your business, what is my passion, what I do with the taxes. How do I step out of my comfort zone? How do I let go of my limiting beliefs? How do I live a healthy lifestyle? What about my nutrition? What about sports on the road? So it's not all about online business and location independent entrepreneurship. It's
the holistic
it's very
lifestyle.
holistic what we are approaching. And what's also very important for us is to see the geo arbitrage thing not just as a one-way lane into one country and like spend baht in Thailand and earn some dollars at home. It's also a lot about giving, connecting to the locals, inviting them on our camps, going into like local schools and giving their workshop, giving a talk, showing them how to set up a YouTube channel to get their word out. And this is what we are also totally after.
Yeah, as Marcus said, it's a more holistic approach because we are also living this, and we don't say like if you become a digital nomad you will be happy. Maybe you have different problems like your like your relationship or health or maybe it's not only
not the magic pill.
It's the magic pill to make money and work from everywhere. Maybe you miss your friends or you have other problems. So we try to approach it more holistically.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're taking that approach. And okay, so you have speakers, right? You have speakers and workshops, and this is over the course of how many days is the conference?
Now it grew into 5 days. We're thinking about next year. We want to aim for 1,000 participants and for 1 week, and then it's a festival.
That I think it crosses the line from conference to festival. So what are the camps then? Are the camps more like intense workshops or what?
The camps are like 10 days or 2 weeks. Now we're testing for the very first time the concept of 2 weeks in Morocco, Tagazout. And we bring together people who already have a running business and people who already earn money and people who already have something to work on at the camp. So we try to set a certain standard so that everybody participates from each other and not that the difference is too big.
So people are more or less on the same level?
More or less, but from different backgrounds. So they are coders, they are designers, they are entrepreneurs, they are like startup founders. And all different kinds of people are on our camps. And they get a lot of input from workshops, which will happen out of the group. So it's all about skill sharing, knowledge sharing. We are also doing mastermind sessions. What we also do is we bring local entrepreneurs on the camps to give a talk from their inspiring founder story. And we also live like the holistic and healthy lifestyle. I do meditation with the people in the morning. We do yoga sessions. We go kiting together. We are doing lots of water sports. For example, in our upcoming camp in June on Lemnos, which is in Greek island, like a little hidden gem. Nobody knows about it, and it has Caribbean turquoise water, and can do kite surfing, windsurfing, and lots of other water sports. So what happens on the camps is at the end there are really strong bondages, vice versa, within the people, and they start businesses together, joint ventures together. They help each other. They set up like accountability. We give them goal buddies. We give them goals to work on, like not only business goals, also personal goals, and the 3 on the 10 days. So this is what is happening on the camps.
Yeah, so it's not only professional development, it's also personal development.
A lot, which is getting more and more more important as an entrepreneur. At a certain point, you come to this point when you want to grow your company, you have to grow as a person. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, beautiful. And how did I love your approach that you're recognizing that, because there's so much business talk out there that doesn't recognize the importance of keeping your own body temple, your body, mind, spirit, centered, grounded, balanced, thriving, healthy, which eating a plant-based diet and having a yoga practice for me are just pillars of the foundation of that, right? Because how can we go out and share our gifts with the world if we're just, constantly in pain or, dealing with a disease or a symptom of this or that, or tired or can't get out of bed and just not feeling well, or dealing with symptoms of this and that. So the first step is getting yourself in alignment, fully activated in your own highest potential, and then you have so much to give to the world, right?
Totally.
So I love that you guys are on the same page with the whole, healthy lifestyle aspect of this. How did you guys get into a plant-based diet, and where did that wake-up call come from for you?
Yeah, so originally we are coming from Berlin, Germany. So for Germany, this is a city where you have the most vegan, the most conscious community and vegan places. If you compare it to other cities in Germany, it's totally different. So you are already kind of surrounded of it. So even when we worked 9 to 5, we saw it everywhere, coming up more and more. And then, our own DNX community came up with vegan stuff and asked for vegan food on our conference and so on. So at that time we weren't vegan ourselves. And I have a really good friend, Claudi. She's 100% vegan, and she influenced me a lot, of course. And then, it was by coincidence that our doctor, just with a normal blood check, saw that I have like the pH
acidic blood
was not in order, so he recommended me to change something in my diet. That's where I got the first contact points with
because animal products are acid forming, and plants are alkaline forming.
The funny thing is, I'm totally animal lover. So right now I'm spending 5% of my income to local animal hospitals, or like here in Copenhagen I just did it. But at that time I wasn't thinking too much about the animals when I changed the diet. So now it's totally obvious for me.
Yeah, you weren't making that connection that you were consuming animals yet loving animals at the same time.
Somehow I don't know. Now it's totally clear, but
interesting.
And then we are persons, like if we have an idea, we go totally into it. So it was not like we become vegan. We started right now when we
went all in 100%.
We went all in. When we did the decision, we just started. So
it doesn't work for everybody. That's beautiful that it worked for you guys like that. And you feel like you had enough support, you had the resources to do that.
Yeah, and I was seeing the benefits on myself, on my body. I love biohacking and like life hacking, body hacking. So I was always writing down my blood values, and I was checking my strengths, going to the gym, and I made this transformation, the switch, and said,
you're
okay.
You're a super active guy too.
Yeah.
You're not like a little weakling. Like you're like you lift weights, right? I mean, you're like super active.
Mixed martial arts. I love to power myself out to. I don't know where it comes from, but I have a lot of energy, and I want to get rid of the energy and don't put it in the wrong channel. So I do lots of sports and do like also Krav Maga, which is an Israeli self-defense system from the military, which is really, really tough. I do Muay Thai, kickboxing here in Thailand and Brazil. I do BJJ or Capoeira, so all these local mixed martial arts stuff. And I was going to the gym, and I was also having a level testing in Krav Maga when I did this transformation, and I didn't see any change. I also saw that I was doing even better with the plant-based diet than before, and everybody in my gym, in the locker room, everybody was talking about like animal-based protein. You need it. I can't live without it. And I was just believing them and doing it without questioning myself. Like now it's a no-brainer. I would never go back again. But yeah, and this is how it changed for us. And then we went to Bali last year and did a detox and Galabra and hydrocolonic cleaning, and learned also a lot about the emotions animals are going through before they're killed. And if you eat like the meat, you consume the emotions which will go into your body and into your health. And so it's totally obvious that plant-based diet is the best thing you can do also for your energy level.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm so glad you're on track with that. And it's nice to hear that you were super active and then you overnight just completely shifted to plant-based. And even though you were being surrounded by people who were, conditioned to another sort of thinking that, if you're super active, you really have to have animal protein. And you just saying, no, I'm going to try this, and trying it and then finding out that your performance is actually better. You know.
So it was not hard, to be honest, because once you got this mind shift, you don't question it anymore. If you suffer and say, I would have to do it, but at the end I still love my burger, then you're not ready. Then it's hard times. I don't know how to handle this. There are some experts, I'm sure, who can help you on this. But for me, it was never like, it's just a mind shift. And then I was promoting it a lot on my podcast. And because people, like, I've over 100,000 plays a month in the podcast, which is recently always like in the top 10 iTunes chart. So I have a big audience, and people love what I'm doing and following me. And once I started to talk about it, I just realized it's a very sensitive topic for many people. And some people really get angry about me talking a lot about this topic and just promoting the plant-based diet. But on the other hand, I was also influencing and a lot of people to try another diet and another nutrition which is plant-based, and they also got the same benefits like me, and they are very thankful. And this is also a nice thing that I can now share the word. And what is also cool is like more and more people, it's not anymore like a hippie thing and the Birkenstock and like flowers in their hair, and this what I was connected before to, like all these things, spirituality, the image, and it's changing. Now there are cool people with a big audience, like sports people. One of the strongest men in the world who beat just Conor McGregor in MMA, Nate Diaz, he's a vegan, he's plant-based, and he's one of the toughest mixed martial artists in the whole world. So you can't deny anymore that that's just totally beneficial for you, for your health, also for your mind, for everything.
Self-love, animal love, planet love, because it's the win-win-win diet, you know?
It would solve so many world issues just within a second if everybody would go into a plant-based diet. So
just leaving the animals off your plate can change so many of the world's biggest problems. Everything from climate change to rainforest destruction to ocean acidification. I mean, the list is so long. And then as we're talking about your own personal health as well. So why not? Why not? You know?
Yeah. What is very interesting when you're on a plant-based diet and your pH value is like
more alkaline.
Yeah, becomes more alkaline. There's no foundation anymore to create diseases like cancer, or it's just not existent for you anymore. And just this small piece of information should convince you just to go to a plant-based diet, I would say.
Thank you. All disease thrives in an acidic environment and also in inflammation, and animal products create an acidic environment and inflammation. So you reduce those, and then by having a plant-based diet, practicing a plant-based diet, you're practicing prevention. And this is what I talk about. And, you know, to anyone who's willing to listen, right, prevention is the cure. So we don't ever have to get sick. But even if you are sick, even if you are already pre-diabetes or diabetes or have cancer, switching to a plant-based diet, the sooner you can do that, the more plants you eat, the less animals you eat, the less disease you're going to have, the closer to health you're going to be. Every bite is either medicine or poison, right, for your body and for the planet.
There's also a very interesting shift in the word that it's now also more and more the healthcare is getting it, that it's more about prevention and not just curing the people afterwards for very high cost, like burnout prevention. I think in the States it's getting more and more popular.
Adrenal fatigue.
That you send people just to meditation retreats and save a lot of money in
corporate wellness.
Yeah, all this stuff and raising their awareness, and it's really game changer. Since I started to meditate, it's my whole life is on a whole new level. And there are so many things you can hack in your life. Just start with one of them, which you hear on the podcast here.
Yeah, so this will be fun. Let's have a conversation again in 10 years. Hopefully we'll have many more between now and then. But in 10 years as a marker, right? Because we're like, 10 years ago we couldn't have been digital nomads. Now we're digital nomads. Yeah. And 10 years from now, I mean, how much of the world is going to be plant-based? And what are people going to be doing for work? I mean, is everybody going to be a digital nomad? Is the 9 to 5 going to be a thing of the past? I'm really curious, you know, we'll see. We don't know.
We will see, but I see tendencies everywhere that people get more conscious and the world is changing for better. As we were talking about, at the moment there are hard times, but at the end, midterm, it will get better. There's no other way.
And what we focus on expands. So as we keep having these positive conversations about the possibilities and, envisioning the world that we want, envisioning a world where our livelihood is one that creates a sense of freedom and fulfillment and enjoyment with our lives, as the digital nomad lifestyle does. And, the plant-based diet, it's just with all these added benefits from making that one little shift in your food choice every day. I mean, focusing on these positive things helps them expand. So
totally. And more people get it that the whole capitalism and consumerism and overconsume and all about money, it's just messed our whole world up, and more people get the idea now.
Yeah, people are waking up, and you guys are a big part of that. So thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for leading this beautiful, healthy lifestyle and inspiring so many people and helping to gather the tribe of people to help continue the awakening of humanity and helping people find their freedom through their work. And I'm really impressed by both of you and really grateful for your contribution. Thank you. Thank you for your time today as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Satnam.
Thanks so much for answering the call to be here today. I'm so glad you're part of our tribe of activated rainbow warriors. If you found the show in any way empowering or inspiring, I would be so grateful if you would share the show on social media or with friends and family that you think would benefit from these conversations. And also, rate and review the show in iTunes. This is really the very best way to help support the show and help us get noticed by others who are looking for the sort of content that we're sharing. Now notice there are no outside ads playing here. That's because the show is supported by you, the listener. You can become a patron of the show with a small monthly donation by checking out the perks on our Patreon page at patreon.com/visionary lifestyle and signing up there. There's also a one-time donation button on the podcast page of the website if that suits you better. And just so you know, your donations help to cover the necessary out-of-pocket monthly expenses to produce the show, and will also help us grow so we can inspire and educate even more people. And hey tribe, I'd love to hear from you. Visit me at visionary-lifestyle.com and please tell me your comments and questions. I really look forward to connecting with you. I love you. Namaste. Today's episode is brought to you by the Conscious Eating 101 e-course. This is a 6-week online course aimed at empowering you to make food choices that are in alignment with your values. The program is based on ahimsa, also known as non-harm, and helps you make every bite that you take an expression of love, self-love, animal love, and planet love. The course offers 15 lessons and 20 nutritious and delicious recipes and is offered over 6 weeks that you can do at your own pace. It includes lessons like plant-based nutrition, protein, dairy alternatives, the story on sugar, GMOs, label reading, and many more. If you're looking to increase your health and happiness, balance your weight, reduce your footprint on the planet, and align your food choices with your values, or are interested in being part of the solution to huge world problems like climate change, rainforest destruction, and world hunger, then this is the course for you. If this speaks to you, please check out consciouseating101.com today.